So this is it. This is where the first two buildings are going to go. My name's Chris. Now welcome to the acreage. This week we're just going to get some stuff done. I'm finally at the point where I have what I need to actually start working and start clearing and overall preparing to build. I've been waiting a long time to get here, so let's get started. I am completely baked. Cooling vest, I think, ran out a couple hours ago. I was mowing and just sort of in the zone. And then suddenly I realized I'm really hot. Not heat stroke hot, but really hot. I need to make more pouches so that way I can force myself to change them, set a timer, change them out, put them on the ice so that way they're always at least a little bit cold and not just forget about them. Come back tomorrow. The thing I don't understand is it's clearly made with the intention of not being junk, that the fabric choices and the stitching is done well, albeit with cheap thread. And why go to the length of making a product that could have been good and just making junk? Like, for what this cost, I think it was like $30 or something like that. Add $5 to it. Like, nobody's going to care for that price difference. And if the quality is a whole lot better, you'll sell more of them. So this is a tactical vest that I don't even remember when I bought it, but I think it was going out of business sale from a surplus store, and I thought it might be something that would be useful at some point in time, and well, here we are. Some point in time has arrived. So I think that while obviously I don't need something that is, you know, quote unquote tactical, it's handy to have the Molly because you can hang stuff on yourself. It's got cell phone pouch and that sort of stuff. Now normally I'd never dream about wearing something this bulky in the heat, but like this one is built very much the opposite of the last one. It's got really high quality Velcro everywhere. This stuff grips really, really well. And then it has backup clips that are, you know, not junk. They hold. The sewing is super strong. But for now, I'm just going to connect these pouches, like just tacked a few places to hold it on. So that way I can go out to the property and do some work. Almost let the traps go too long. This is the last stage before they become adult mosquitoes. They'll be dead within a couple minutes. This is where I'm going to build my first building. One's going to be a sleep camp, and then the other one is going to be a workshop slash shed slash whatever it decides to be after I build an actual shop somewhere else. The reason that I'm choosing to build here is because it's relatively flat, and I'm going to pin to the rock and put up sonotubes to support the buildings just high enough so that way it clears the rock. It's probably going to take forever, but at least I'm getting started. So I was mowing around the hoe yesterday, and I noticed that there's a fair amount of relatively fresh oil on the frame, and it's right underneath the hydraulic pump. And I really don't want it to be the hydraulic pump, because while the seals might be 50 or 60 bucks, the pump itself is like 2,100. And what? I was told this was a 310A. This is a 310B, which means it's way newer than I thought it was. Yay. Anyways, I noticed that there's these hoses that actually might be the source of the moisture, well, the oil or whatever it is that's dripping out. Because there's a fair bit on either side, but when I look at the bottom of the pump itself doesn't really seem to be crazy wet like you would expect if it was peeing out fluid. I didn't bring the key today, so can't start it and see if it's actually actively leaking or not. When the head gasket was leaking, I mean, it was obvious. It was all just pouring down from along where the gasket was, so it was pretty obvious where the leak was coming from. If it is leaking, it would be really nice to know that that's the case. So I'll start it, I'll move it. I've got some areas where I need to sort of smooth out so it's easier to drive over with the truck. And then when I'm done, I'll put a little cup underneath that hose and see if it collects whatever is coming out of it, or if it is still leaking out. That's assuming that it's not obvious that the hydraulic pump is the one that's leaking. Wasps, damn it. Coming out of that little hose. So back here, I've cleared out a lot back here now, so I can turn around more easily, at least not without clipping the brush. But you can see like there's lumps and hummocks and little piles that were left behind because I had done a little bit of digging back here with the excavator, and I wasn't too careful about where I left piles of whatever. So like this hump here, the tire always drops in there. I have to put it in four-wheel drive to get it out. But I also like to be able to eventually drive back there. The house site is right there. Learned from yesterday, the vest is pretty much done, and if I push it any further, I am going to seriously regret it. And that's not something I want to do. My goal today was to get this tree down, but I've already started making small mistakes. I cut off all the branches and I put them in the long grass, which in of itself isn't a bad thing, but it's also probably where I want to fall the tree. And so now I have a bunch of extra debris where the tree's going to fall, which is just dumb. So if I'm making small, stupid mistakes, I don't want to make really big ones. This tree is actually a pretty big diameter at the base. It's leaning that way, but there's quite a bit of a breeze right now coming this way, which isn't the end of the world if it falls away. But I'm going to need to clear more around the tree, and that way I have somewhere to run if it goes sideways, because the tree is dying. I'm pretty sure it's like spruce budworm or something along those lines, but which should mean that the core is okay. It shouldn't barber chair or anything, but I want to make sure I've got a plan. And right now, I'm too hot and too tired for a plan. And tomorrow's an edit day, so that'll have to be next video. So like, subscribe, etc. I'm not sure that I'm going to have a video next week because I have a wedding I have to go to this weekend out of town, and I might not be able to get out here enough to justify that that one, but we'll see how it goes. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one.